What's going on, brother?
Good morning.
Good
Uh,
morning.
I when you texted me this morning or messaged me this morning, I was like, "Oh shit, what's happening? What's going on? Because I don't get notifications all the time on it, like what's
Yeah.
uh, for YouTube, because I'm still new to it, and I was I was planning like thinking about all last night what I was going to do tonight for the video, and I have to say, in your video, I cracked up because like you were saying Thomas Hardy didn't drink and he didn't do this and I'm like thinking to myself like watching it like holy shit he's gonna yes he did.
Yeah, and I had like the one in my on my video, like and I'm sorry, Charles, man, but I'm sorry for putting you on the line here, but he's like my buddy Charles from out Chicago ways, like kind of corrected me. He's like, no, dude, there's a poet called Thomas Hardy and stuff like that. So, and that's kind of why I was like, okay, let's just make a video and kind of come clean about us just kind of fucking around and stuff like that. Because not that I don't care, I don't, I probably lost like 15 subscribers over tonight, and which I don't care, dude. I don't give a fuck, to be perfectly honest with you. I think it's hilarious. But it was more like when you first made that video and then I made mine, I was like, okay, we'll goof around, we'll have fun doing this for a little bit, and then we'll kind of let the cat out of the bag that we're boys and we're just some made up beef. But I just don't want people to be like venomous towards you or for whatever reason, because you're starting a YouTube channel. How what you want to do with it and how seriously I want to take it is up to you. But I definitely didn't want you to start you off as like a bunch of people that would follow me who might follow you, kind of view you as a douchebag or something. So it was fun while it lasted, though. Let's put it that way.
You're right. You're right in the head. Like 2 days, I think you said like, oh, let's just do it for a couple days and see what happens. And I woke up and like there's 10 dislikes on the one video of my video talking about you, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What just happened? Then one, I think like one dislike or two dislikes on every single video. I'm like,
oh yeah,
it's fine.
yeah,
it's a cruel place, but
I got my beeps got my back is what that means.
See, that's great though that you have that following, that people trust you and believe in you, because you also have the people that I know that are complete just dickheads and just try to rail you out, which is horrible.
Yeah, no, it's like I've started real beef before with some people in the beer world, and it's some of it's gone well, some of it hasn't. I don't give a shit either way, because 99% of the time I try to avoid any kind of douchebaggery or beefery, but I'm also like one of my most major flaws, and this is going to sound like kind of a what do they call that, humble brag, is I have this, like, to a fault, I have a very specific moral and ethical center. So when people do shit that I deem fucked up, but I'm like, I'll call them out on it. You know what I mean? So that kind of happens in YouTube every now and then, and I'll be like, yo, you're a fake fuck, or yo, you're doing this. And it's not me trying to be an asshole, but it's me going like, obviously you're just being like doing shit in a douchey way. What the fuck you being like that? And that rubs a lot of people the wrong way. So like, I kind of was like, okay, I'm going to do this video, but people can't discern the difference between me joking. I always thought I'd be a decent actor. So, so I was like, I'll do this video, but I'll try to make it like so out there that people have to realize that it's not me being serious. Like, I wore fucking PJs. I don't know who Thomas Hardy is, even though it's my favorite beer. I think it's the actor it's based off of, even though the beer came out before he was born. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I tried to be that fucking off, but it just didn't work. But ended up being even better because that makes shit funner.
I think it's because there was still like other things in there in the beginning that led to it, that like you calling me out for just writing a fake letter, and then not knowing where you're from, and like, listen, we only met in Pennsylvania, and did you move?
Yeah.
Okay.
I moved. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, you were right, because you wouldn't know. I mean, well, you would know if you watch my fucking videos and they say I live in Jersey all the time, but whatever. I mean, I don't care about that. But no, I lived in PA pretty much my whole adult life. I was born in Jersey, but I got married to my wife, and she owns a farm. and like it's in Jersey, so you can't move a farm. So I moved down here, but like literally, I can get in my car and be in Pennsylvania in like 11 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not like I'm like deep into Jersey like and shit. So yeah, that's we haven't. I mean, through COVID, and actually no, I was living down here. Last time I saw you was this past Russian Duck. It was the one before that, right? Anniversary.
Yep.
And I was in Jersey then, but it's not like the conversation came up or anything like that, you know. So
no, you were with a bunch of your friends. I think at a table. And I think I had friends there too. So it was kind of like, oh, I have to do this.
Yeah.
Weird. But yeah, I'm really excited to be doing this. And
well, let's talk about it. What do you do? Like, because for people that don't know, and this is going to go up on Ben's channel as mine too. But you know, I know Ben from. I'll give everybody a little bit of background. I know Ben. Stuff that he said in his video is actually right. Like, I ended up meeting him through kind of a beer mail via YouTube, and he introduced me to Russian Duck. And then from there, you know, we kind of went back and forth a little bit over a year or so, and then we ended up meeting up on the hottest, sweatiest day in the history of mankind. Remember that? Yes. We got rich, drunk at Russian Duck, and like, yeah, just drip and sweat, and then hung out a couple times since then. And it's me doing YouTube stuff, but you've existed in the beer world as far as like legitimate beer world, like in like working in the industry. Like, where did you come from, and where are you at now? Because I don't know that part of it.
Oh yeah, so I guess it's really interesting where I'm at now for sure. So I've been home brewing for about, I want to say 18 years, maybe plus, with one of my best friends. And I wanted to get in the beer industry and never got a chance to. And then finally, I had a big life change and quit my job, got a small apartment, and started working at a beer store locally. And I met one of my good friends, Martin from Magic Hat there. And within months of working at that store, he said, you should work here. I'll be your boss and you should work here. So I applied, got the job, worked for Magic Hat for probably maybe a year or so, and then got promoted to doing all their other stuff. So Genesee, Seagrams, and the like. And I worked there for quite a while.
And that was ABC, right? Or something like that? Or
NAB. ABC.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah.
And or Fifth Code now as it's known.
Yeah.
So it was great step. I think the majority of people out there that are in the beer industry on the East Coast, well, maybe in the West Coast too and spread out, had their start in Magic Hat and NAB. And so there are some stories, either good or bad, about it. And I decided that I didn't want to be with a company that was kind of, it didn't focus on what I wanted to focus on, you know? Like, I want to sell Magic Hat. I want to sell Jenny. Like, I know where I stand in the Jenny world. Like, I can sell that shit all day, but I don't feel like selling Seagrams. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
So I ended up applying to a distributor that I saw that was local, and I signed up, and I was there for 3 years, and as a sales or territory supervisor, with the knowledge that I would become the beer brand manager. So I would go out and get breweries and bring them to New York. Visit breweries all across the country. Got to go to GABF a couple times. I got my Cicerone. And it's humble brag here. It's just like I was able to do that and pass the test the first time, which was really nice. Like, I met someone who took it 6 times in a row. It's not easy, but if you know your stuff, it's wicked weird, because like how they phrase things and the terminology and everything is just a little bit different than just casual conversation.
And just to kind of shed light on that, it would be easier for you because as a general beer nerd, and having the knowledge of what you want to do with Cicerone, it gives you a leg up. But there's a whole part of it which is about, you know, about front of house, back of house stuff, how beer's produced, all that. And that's the stuff that you love beer, but you also live in a world where you have to worry about, you know what I mean, tap lines and this, that, and the other. And that's part of it. It's more, and that's the thing. A lot of people think Cicerone is like some kind of fun thing for beer nerd knowledge. It's really more industry focused and stuff like that. So it worked, you know, for you doing what you do. You obviously had a huge leg up on that.
Yeah, so the one part of the Cicerone is you have to sit in front of a camera and you have to take apart a tap and tell the camera what parts are what, and then while you're taking it apart, you have to describe how to clean it properly, and what solution, how long, and then put it back together while saying like this goes in this. I honestly can't remember. Fortunately, there's two things you can do, either the tap or the Sankey. And thank God I didn't get the Sankey because I did not study that. And there's so many small parts in there that I'm like, I don't know. But I was there for a while, and I just didn't like how I was treated and how my coworkers were treated. And I tried to change it, and I wasn't getting paid what I wanted to. And I left last year, I think in October. So right before all the shit hit the fan.
Yep.
Really. And I started a new job, which is very different right now, which is selling and estimating, selling, and consulting in fire alarm and security. So for like New York State bid projects and stuff, so pretty big stuff. I miss the beer world a lot. So I decided to, I saw a lot of beer influencers online. This is what started the channel. I saw a lot of beer influencers online, like a majority women, going and making OnlyFans. And I'm a huge like sex worker supporter. But I was like, you're posting on OnlyFans saying you're going to talk about, posting on Instagram saying that you're going to talk about beer on OnlyFans, have a drink, but it's not porn or it's not selling content.
Yeah.
And then I was curious about one of my friends. So I was like, fuck, it's $6, whatever. I'm going to see what this is. And it was selling content. So just be straight up about it. If you're going to talk about beer, talk about beer. If you're going to do stuff, just be honest. Because in the long run, it's going to behoove you. So I thought, I just had this idea one day. I'm like, I want to make an OnlyFans. I want to make an OnlyFans and just talk about beer and it's be free. So I actually bought this chair behind me, $60 I saw online, and the whole idea was to be an armchair Cicerone, and I wanted to use Cicerone in the title.
It's a great name. It's a great name because it's just, you know, obviously people think of armchair quarterback, that kind of thing, but then you're actually a Cicerone, so it's not like, you know, at first thought you would be like armchair Cicerone. Okay, he's not a Cicerone, but he's being the armchair Cicerone who's not actually the Cicerone, but you are. So I love it. Anyway, go ahead.
I definitely, because you know, Hayes Boys and Untapped with the fuck and whatever, and everybody else on trolling online on Instagram always make fun of the internet Cicerone, the guys who think they know shit. But really just so like I was trying to kind of play off of that because I don't want to take myself too seriously, but at the same time, like beer has gone in a weird direction, and I don't even know where it like lives anymore. So I bought shelves. I want to put up my favorite books. Got a candle. I mean, it's bright outside right now, but I got a candle and a ring light. And
that's the thing. I tried to mimic you because I got my old style clock that looks like it's a shitty old style clock, and I was like, I'll put that in the background and that'll be my candle. That's why I sat in my chair over there and tried to mimic what you were doing. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just it all kind of fell together, and I have like these smart bulbs, the Z-Wave bulbs, so I can mimic light over here of a candle. So I tried to create like this atmosphere, and like when I film, I just have a robe on. I'm naked because it was started out as an OnlyFans thing. Yeah, and I was just
you gotta sexy it up.
Exactly.
Yeah, you gotta let that bear hair come out, and yeah.
So that's really it. And then I got a lot of like, especially my sister, she was super supportive. She goes, "This is hilarious. You need to do this." And I go, "Okay." And then people started supporting it more and more than I thought. So I was like, fuck, I don't want people to sign up for OnlyFans that are family. Expect something. And I don't feel like explaining it over and over again. So I said, fuck it. I made a YouTube channel, and it was pretty fucking easy to upload from my phone. And I'm very happy with it so far. Like, I don't know. It's half goofy, you know, talk serious stuff. Like, I'm still trying to figure out where to go from here. Yeah.
No, and I think, and honestly, like, and that's kind of thing, you know, we've been, friends for a while now. God, when you sent me the original beer mail, was it like 6 years ago?
Oh my God. Yeah.
5-6 years ago. So, and it's honestly, and that's the reason why I found it kind of fun and funny, and that's the reason why we did the videos that were good intentioned, but people thought was serious. And I kind of think we do the same thing, but like I'm trying to be stuffy, and then like you're trying to keep it serious, but pepper in some levity, just to keep it not stuffy.
Yeah.
Whereas you're like, okay, I'm going from the other direction and I'll lean into the series, because that's the thing. Like a lot of people see your videos, you're goofy, whatever, and then you break into the beer and then you actually start talking about the beer. And it's a good transition because people let their guard down and they're like, this is fun. And then you're like, wait a minute, he's actually talking about beer and talking about knowledgeable things about beer. So I think it's a really fun approach and a really good way to do it. And I'm glad you did it, because it was like, it's like, I didn't know that you moved out of the beer industry as far as your job. I knew it because I see your social media and I see what you're doing. And I assumed you worked in pottery for some reason, but,
that's my second, thing. I
love.
Like
Yeah.
I teach pottery now too. So.
Oh, do you? That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, and you need to make some tankards or something. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and that's a video right there. And make your own tankard. But yeah, I was like, okay, that's cool. That'll be a fun thing for him to do. And I didn't even dawn on me until the second or third video. I was like, wait a minute, are we going to do a video together? Because this just makes all the sense in the world. And that was the impetus for the kind of quick 2 videos we put up. But yeah, it's fun, man. I'm glad to see you doing this stuff, because it seems like it'll be a fun outlet for you, and you obviously have a ton of knowledge and you're a super good dude, so it's going to be great.
Thank you. Yeah, I've always loved your videos, and there's so many serious people taking beer too seriously, and I think it should be taken seriously, but in the right way, like you say, like you talk about beer, but you also have fun with it, and you just don't go on the basic like, oh, this beer is blah, 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 this is 4 out of 10, whatever. Yeah. Like, it's about the experience, and it's about your knowledge base, where you come from, how you feel, how you learned about it.
Yeah.
And so like when I was with my old job, we made videos of me tasting beer, and I'll have to get them. They're online. They're on YouTube.
I've seen them. Yeah.
But like, I start to go more ridiculous as time went on, because I thought the only way to capture an audience right now in beer is to either be like, you have to make a shtick or be fucking ridiculous. And so I did it, and I really had a lot of fun. But I kind of want to rein that in, but still kind of be silly in a absurd setting. Like the door's right there. My studio starts right here, and there's a door right there. I'm in a foyer. This is not a room. There's a heating vent right under me, and that's a closet, so, and that coat rack right there. So I'm literally like, this is the best place in my apartment to film, and it's weird.
Yeah, I'm up into I got a little bit of a dilemma coming up soon, because the room I'm in, my beer room, it's like my little studio thing. Like, it's a mess, but I don't care. Like, I have like all my music stuff. Come on, turn is over there behind that door. It's like a tiny little room. It's not that big, but it's not that small either. And there's all kinds of stuff in here. But I'm having a baby, and this will eventually be the kids' room. So I will not have a beer room. Probably. Baby's due in March. So you're talking a year or two down the road. And then, he'll be living in here. So I'll have to move out of here, which will be fun, because it'll be not when you, I don't know where I'll go, but it'll be a different environment. And I think that's a good thing. Switch it up a little bit.
You're going to have a little corner of the house somewhere. Just whoop.
Yeah. Well, we have a huge barn outside. And there's room in there for me to kind of do something in there. So maybe I'll move it outside and stuff like that. But yeah, man. Fuck. What's the and anybody who hasn't watched this video yet, go watch them. And before I get to the next part, I want to talk about. I wanted to go on and talk about something you just said about people doing stuff and how do you get people engaged. And this is going to sound a little bit pretentious, a little bit douchey, but I'm not associating this with like sports. Or being an athlete, but some athletes just have it. And it's the same thing when it comes to doing these videos. Some people have a personality, and that personality resonates with people. And then really that's what you can do. You could do all the, You know what I mean? You could do all the pomp and circumstance you want, you know what I mean? And try to do shticks and then do intro videos and do flashy graphics and do all these kind of things. But if people don't want to listen to you, just people aren't going to fucking listen to you. Genuine, you know what I mean? And this is my kind of idea of what it takes to have kind of whatever, a good channel is that, you know, have nothing be forced. You know what I mean? Just try to be as natural as possible. You know what I mean? That's hard to do, especially when you first start a channel because you've never done it before. The repetition kind of brings that out, and just kind of be honest. You know, don't be afraid of saying shit, and just you know what I mean? Be a genuinely interesting person. Not everybody's fucking interesting. So, and I know that you're an interesting person, and you're actually a good person. That goes a long way too. There's a lot of douchebags out there. Yeah. And to the other sense that you said, which is the stuffiness of it, you know, there's a lot of people who be like, well, the SRM on this is a little 2 degrees off, so I thought it tasted fantastic, but it's not truly a fucking Märzen, because if you say Marzen, you're an asshole. It's a Märzen, and the SRM is slightly off, so I'm going to give it a fucking F. You know what I mean? Like that shit there's that group exists. They don't like the internet. They meet at homebrew clubs, and they say every brewery sucks but theirs. So you could go to that thing. That thing already exists, and people don't resonate with that really. There are groups of people that do, but they're very small and few and far between them. And you know, the beer world is, I mean, you know this, when you got in a beer and I got in a beer, if I met somebody the whole year, I'd be surprised that I met somebody who was in the beer. And I'd be like, literally, I'd meet somebody in one calendar year who was in the beer, and I'd be like, what the fuck is going on? Now you could be at fucking Applebee's. Not that I'd ever go to fucking Applebee's, but if you could be at fucking Applebee's, you'd be sitting down, and the guy in the booth behind you would be like, I was at Treehouse last night. I got 19 cases of beer. So it's like the world has changed so drastically when it comes to beer. And it's, yeah. It's a weird fucking world. So there's a bunch of ways to do it. And if you do it here's the big thing. You're doing it for fun. If you did it, you're like, I'm going to transition to this as my full-time job, and I'm going to make all this money. It's not going to fucking happen. I hope it does, but it's not going to happen.
Too. I don't know what your situation is with the YouTube, but I figure, make videos, put them online, and what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. You could monetize on YouTube where they actually give you money and shit like that, but you have to have 1,000 subscribers to do that. But I've never monetized. I was like, I don't fucking care. Imagine people send me like
subscribers and you lost 15 and
yeah. But here's the stick though. This is the thing that sucks, and it's good that you're on YouTube, but ultimately because it's the only avenue that has the widest swath of people watching. So even if you were to do most of your stuff on OnlyFans and do some stuff on YouTube, it's still it's a pathway for people to find you that's a little bit more open than OnlyFans. But what was I going to say? Even YouTube, they if you were in the market to actually make a couple bucks, you have to have 1,000 subscribers. But they actually just released a month ago that you'd have to accept advertising, and then the advertising gives you money. A month ago, they actually flipped the switch to where they'll advertise in your videos even if you say you don't want to monetize now.
Oh. So
now I'm up to this moral dilemma of whether I should monetize or not, because if they're going to start showing ads in all my videos, I might as well get a couple bucks off it. I've never wanted to do that, but I constantly have this incognito browser that I check my videos every now and then to see if videos ads popped up. They haven't popped up yet. Once they start popping up, Daddy's making that YouTube cash. So
yeah. Get it.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I really want to do something with you again. Like, are you drinking a beer right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna drink another Thomas Hardy.
Oh,
I don't know where my bottle. What time is it?
It's maybe 10 right now. I'm gonna be going to brew some beer in a little bit. Actually, an imperial stout. So
ooh,
drinking then. But I really would like to do another video with you. Now that I know that we can do this, because I was like, how the hell do we do a YouTube video and record at the same time? Well, this exists, so that's good. But like I do spirits too, because I'm getting into bourbons and I love scotch and wine. Why not?
Oh yeah, hair of the dog, baby.
There you go.
We'll finish it off. This is iced tea, by the way. I put it in a bottle just to fuck with you. I'm not drinking a 13% barley wine at 10 a.m. I'm not saying I wouldn't, and I'm not saying I haven't. I'm just saying right now I recapped it and everything because I'm an asshole.
That's awesome. I remember sending a beer to my friend and said it was homebrew and asked him to judge it honestly. And it was a milkshake IPA. I literally took mango juice, orange juice, and a little bit of seltzer or Orangina or something. And I put it in a bottle and I capped it and shook it and sent it to him in the mail. And he got it. And when he got it, he opened it up. I was on the phone with him and it went, and he poured it out and he goes, dude, this smells unbelievable. What did you do? And I was like, just drink it. Let me know what you think. And he goes, holy shit. I'm like, it's just juice.
I love that shit, man. I love that. That's why like I do a series called Mystery Beers, and people like wrap up beers and drink them, and I don't know what they are. And it's my favorite thing to do because people, like I said, people have sent me fucking natural ice. You know what I mean? Like shit like that. People have sent me like a my camera does this every now and then.
Oh no.
Like, yeah. That's what happens when you drink barley wine at 10 a.m. Blackout. Anyway, they sent me a pickle beer. It was basically pickle juice and beer. Like send me like shit. Sometimes I'm like scared about what's going to be in there, and like they sent me non-alcoholic hoppy beers or hoppy kombuchas and all kinds of crazy shit like that. So yeah, I love being fucked with, and I love fucking with people. Hence the reason why we're making this video, I guess.
Yeah.
What's the thing moving forward? Is there like a core? Well, let's use a fancy word that the beer people like to use. What are the core ethos of the channel? Like, are you just you said you're doing some B-roll, so you have like a breakdown of the kind of videos that you do. What are you gonna be doing?
I'm gonna be doing a mixture of beer, wine, and spirits. The original intent was to have people tell me what they like, and I'll try to find it and bring it back and drink it with them. So people, especially during the times of pandemic, may feel like they're having a drink with somebody. If they're at home, that just to help them out. I don't want to say that I'm a self-help talk expert or whatever, because I'm definitely not. But I figure a lot of people need to hear things that no one else wants to talk about. Hence, one of my last videos was the self-care video, and I kind of want to throw in some poetry, some things, some creative aspects to the channel that I wouldn't have done or be comfortable with years ago. I want to normalize that for men and have them be okay with like, yeah, I'm ridiculous right now because I'm like looking like I'm really so bedroom. Definitely having a drink.
It's honestly, it's the jade pendant that really kind of puts that chef's kiss on the whole fucking vibe.
Dude, this was sent to, this was given to me when I was in New Zealand back in 2006, right before I left, because you're not supposed to buy jade, nephrite jade, or greenstone down there for yourself. It's bad luck. So the people I lived with bought it for me before I left, and it's supposed to bring you good luck and all this other stuff. And sure enough, every time that it's fallen off or I've taken it off, bad things have happened. So I just keep it on. I haven't really stopped wearing it for like over 10 years. So
you're wearing it right now and you're talking to me, so bad shit's happening right now. So that streak is broken, son.
But it really is like I try to think of fun stuff, bringing music to it. I know we can't do certain music on YouTube, so I found some Spotify channels that are royalty free. I cook and I do a lot of other things. I just want to kind of bring that creative theater here and have the absurd, and maybe even start drawing upon like a lot of cosmic horror type stuff too, because I'm really into that type stuff. So a lot of like, I think it's going to be like beer, but then, oh man, what was that show where like candlelight, maybe smoking jacket, horror, and
Vincent Price?
Yeah, I think it's Vincent Price. Yeah,
was that man?
I'll tell a story and talk about beer, and then go right into like a poem that I'm really enjoying right now, or something that is topical. But I don't want to get into like religion and politics because I think that gets really messy.
Oh, I know. I do it all the time. It's fantastic. I do. I like literally, like for like probably the past 3 months, I've almost exclusively worn the same shirt in all my reviews. That it's like an anti-racism shirt, and like everybody, all the hillbilly Trumper fucking crazy people come out and like go ballistic, and it's pretty fantastic.
So that's the one thing I would stand, like I would have for sure. I should probably put one up, like Black Lives Matter or anti.
Oh yeah. Oh, then I do that shit all the time. Like I did, like a bunch of us. We'll have to have you on some of the chats that we do. I do the Facebook group that we're on over the court. So all the guys actually that I do I do a bunch of stuff with YouTube beer guys all over the place. But there's a group of us that do stuff, and you're actually like dead center in all of them. Like the one guy lives in Albany. A couple of them just live south of Massachusetts. You know what I mean? One guy lives in Albany. And then, you know what I mean? So we're all like, we kind of do stuff together, and then we meet up every now and then and do stuff like that. But like, we'll host nights where all we do is drink Black Lives Matter beers. And it's like, you know what I mean? Like, and talk about the movement and like talk about how people should, purchase these beers and really speak to it. And they're like so many thumbs down, and the Nazis come out of the woodwork. It's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, I would love to. The only Black is Beautiful beers that I've actually been able to find in Kingston, in one store. I don't go to the big store because they charge so high for their beers, is the Harpoon one, the tropical stout.
Okay.
But it's good. It's a dry hop tropical stout, which is in its sense like weird.
Well, the way we were kind of formatting it was, and we haven't done one in a while, should do one, but they've kind of fallen off a little bit as far as production goes. Is that like I would go get a one or two, or I go find a local one or two, and everybody would do that, and then we buy a 4-pack and then send them off to each other, so we'd all have 5 or 6. You know what I mean? And then we do a couple of them over, because they're stout, so it's not like you have to do them right away. Man, I lost my train of thought. So you're pretty much and that's the thing. Your channel name is Armchair Cicerone. It should be more like the Renaissance Cicerone. You're a Renaissance man. You're doing poetry. You're doing pottery. You're doing beer. You're doing spirits, wine, whatever. I can never get into wine, and all kinds of stuff. That's fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah, the wine's going to be, I don't know, like the reason why I said wines. I have 2 bottles of Caduceus. I think that's
okay.
It's Maynard James Keenan's.
Yeah. And for people who don't know, Tool.
Yeah, I've been wanting to try it for so long, and then I saw that they were doing some sale on stuff, and I got a bag with a bunch of shit in it with wine for like $200. But this bag's and everything in there is beautiful. Glasses, like these beautiful glasses. It was $200. That was with including shipping. But their wines aren't that expensive, and I always thought that they were going to be. But it's really probably just going to be bourbon and beer, most likely, unless people tell me like, hey, you should try this new wine that came out from the Hudson Valley.
Well, I mean, but you don't want to downplay that either, because it's like one of the fun things about doing anything, whether you're huge into beer or huge into that or not huge into it, is it's a learning process. So like a lot of people that like are in, who start channels, where take beer for example, I find the ones who aren't super knowledgeable about beer more interesting than the people that are half the time, because it's not like, it's what you taste is what you taste. So it's not like if you lack the vocabulary or you don't say shit that people want you to say, that's not wrong. It's just, you taste it, instead of saying I taste orange juice and be like, or I taste this, I taste that. You're explaining what you're tasting. That's very, very more honest, I guess you would say, because when you drink so much, you get in this kind of groove of saying the shit that you've been trained to say or thought about. You know what I mean? So you get somebody who doesn't know anything and they drink it. It's almost a better experience. Yeah.
So my brother does that. So every time we get like a Mosaic or Simcoe like super hop beer, I would yell at him because he'd be like, "Oh, this is like onions or garlic or like dirty gym socks or whatever." Like, David, you can't say this around people. Like, you can't say these things. But then I realized when I was in the wine industry, because I worked in the wine industry back in 2007, and then 2008, when I moved to New York City, I worked at a wine bar in New York City in Soho. And I would use the terms people loved it. Like, instead of saying just leathery and tobacco and other things, I'd be like, this smells like if you ever owned a farm or been on a farm, just like horse manure and hay. And that, like, a really lovely smell sometimes that gives off. Not all the time, but just, it's like, for me, it's reminiscent of when I was a kid and had horses.
Yeah.
Whatever, it was a long time ago, but it's really pleasant. But if you actually smell it, it's like, oh fuck, I have to clean.
Well, and you touched on that about like about saying things, and that's probably got to be one of the cool things for you talking about beer is that you almost have to check yourself when you're in the industry. You can't be like, you can't go out in the left field. You can't be like, this is hot garbage water. Fuck these people. Cause you just can't do it. You live in that world. So now you're not beholden to that. So not that you want to shit all over everybody, but if you want to say something negative, you want to say something controversial, there's no blowback for you. So that's got to be a little bit liberating.
Yeah. I mean, I've always had some hot takes on a lot of breweries that people really enjoy. Mainly because I don't like the brewers, or I think the beer is mediocre and people are blowing it up out of proportion. And I'm like considering whether to say it or not right now. But yeah, and I've gotten into arguments with people around the Hudson Valley because people love, for some reason, a lot of Hudson Valley brewers. I think there are some great ones out there and some that are just overlooked, like Newberg and
Newberg's awesome.
Are like, they've come leaps and bounds from where they started, and now Captain Lawrence is doing a distillery, Spirits, which the guy that the distiller from Dennings Point in Beacon went to Captain Lawrence's place and now is distilling there. And actually, I have 2 barrels of his that had bourbon, and I've bourbon barrel aged a few beers in the 10-gallon barrels, which is pretty cool. So he makes some really good stuff. His name's Kieran Tompkins. He's super knowledgeable. So,
I think I know that dude somehow.
Probably.
Maybe, I don't know.
He's been around for a while.
Yeah. But no, I mean, it's not sad. It's just weird to see, you know what I mean? Those breweries. I mean, Newberg Brown Ale is pretty much put that shit in my faucet and I'm good to go.
Yeah.
But in Captain Lawrence, it's so weird because it was like, you know, even back in the, you know, when I say back in the day, I'm only talking 10 years ago, you know, their sours are still so fantastic but it was also like a treat to get one. Now I see them shelf turning it up, which is fine for me because I can go get it and it's great. But yeah, a lot of the new school breweries, and I think I like the new school breweries, but and honestly, to bring this full circle, you look at a brewery like Rushing Duck, who just makes everything from A to Z on the fucking platform, crushes it every fucking time. I'm not saying every single one of their beers I've loved, but more often than not, I do. And they make so many. You walk into their tap room, you know, sure, there's going to be a lot of hazies because that's what a lot of people like. But then you're going to get a Kolsch, you're going to get a brown ale, you're going to get a Belgian, blonde ale, your table beer, whatever the fuck is stout, imperial stout, Scotch ale. It doesn't matter. It's all going to fucking be there. And you know, they've been there before. Pretty much all these new school breweries. They're like the beginning of the new school of the Hudson Valley kind of Orange County area. And a lot of the breweries and the breweries you don't want to mention, the Hudson Valleys of the world, the Equilibriums of the world, those breweries that kind of, you know, blow up and kind of now are kind of, you know, juggernauts. And this place is just kind of sitting there still doing their thing. Sure, they're growing, but they're growing in a more kind of cautioned kind of methodical, like thought out kind of sense. And they're just one of the best breweries in the world. But that's the thing, like, you know, to be big, you got to talk big, you got to scream big, you got to make big. And some people just don't want to live that world. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, Newberg is big from its distribution footprint to the size of the brewery. It's probably the biggest fucking brewery I've ever been in, at least from a taproom standpoint. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And but yeah, it's interesting to see how beer changes. But yeah, to be able to speak your mind and say what you want is going to be a fun thing to do now.
Especially if people tell me like, "Hey, you should try this," I'd be like, "No."
Well, why won't you though? Let me ask you that, because why wouldn't you try it?
Well, if it's been recent that I've had the beer, yeah,
of course.
That's fine. If it's been like, I mean, it's the same thing with food. Like, I'll go out and eat. Like, I hated uni when I first tried it, and then I tried it again.
Taco.
Yelling
at my dog. He's trying to eat onion skin. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, that's not good. But with beer, like, yeah, I'll try it. But like, there's a few breweries like that I've tried, and I've even if they've gotten better, I do not want to support the people.
Yeah. No, I got that. There's a brewery down here and close. Well, they're in PA. They're called Separatists. They used to be called Soul, and they can go fuck themselves hard.
Yep. Yeah, I've heard many things. I tried to pick them up, but I've heard many things about that brewery. Yep.
Yeah, they can go. They can go fuck themselves. So and that's the thing. I don't give a fuck. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't hold. There's a couple of breweries I have not beef with, but I'm just like rubbed the wrong way, and it's like, okay, whatever, you know. And then there's good breweries, you know. It's like, and then you try to find a balance between it because you just don't want to say a brewery's beer is good because you like them, and you don't want to say a brewery's beer is bad because you hate them. And that's kind of a hard challenge to do in between. But you know. It is what it is. It's a beer world. It's crazy. We're the smallest fish in the smallest pond ever. So it's fucking. We're on YouTube and OnlyFans talking about beer. So it's not like we're changing the world one like at a time, one boobie at a time.
God. I can't believe it. Whatever possessed me to fucking make an OnlyFans for beer.
I love it, dude. I'm like, damn. Why didn't I think of that, motherfucker? I was pissed.
And I did, you know, I wasn't getting like, because you have to sign up for OnlyFans and you have to go through all the rigmarole. And like, I was trying to make videos, but at one point I was like, yeah, I'll put my bank account on here so people can give me money, donations if they want. But then it was taking days to do it. I couldn't post, so I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to YouTube, and we're just going to do that from now on.
Okay, so you're not going to do because I thought maybe you'd cross post between both of them.
No,
I would imagine that wouldn't work because if you get it for free on YouTube, why the fuck would you even go to OnlyFans? So,
exactly. Yeah. And since I'm not charging anything, I might as well just do YouTube.
There you go.
I was never in it for the money, but then people were like, "Hey, so how much money you want for me so you can show your balls and butthole?" I'm like, "No, that's cool."
I'd do it for free, so I don't know. I can't give you advice on that one. I do that's my secret channel on Pornhub.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My God.
Welcome to YouTube, buddy.
So I actually, I don't know if this actually hurts or not, but I've put restricted age restrictions and no kids on my channel because not just language, but alcohol. I thought I'd rather do that so I wouldn't get pinged or anything.
Yeah, it's weird because you have that set up and it tells me that. I have that set up and it doesn't tell people that.
Interesting.
Yeah, like I have my whole channel marked as not for kids.
Yeah.
And
18 years or older?
I think I have it 18 years or older, I think maybe. I don't remember. I got to go back. But I do know it's set that way because my buddy was having an issues with it. I think it's a lot of people who created a YouTube channel. Your channel, did you create it relatively, or is it an old channel that you had, or did you create this account recently?
I think I finally actually combined my YouTube and Google, maybe last year.
But I'm saying that the channel itself, when you created this, it was created separate apart from that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think it has to do with newer creators because my buddy just started a YouTube channel and he forgot to market and they forced him. They're like, no, we forced you to be not for kids. Whereas mine is marked not for kids, but it doesn't warn anybody about it. I don't know. It's some kind of weird algorithm. I don't care. I haven't marked not for kids. It is what it is. So let's do this. Let's wrap it up. I want to go hang out with my wife and stuff like that. Tell people where they can find you. I know this is going to be kind of weird because it's going to go on your channel too, but it'll be on mine. So how do people find you?
Sure. Basically, you can Google Armchair Cicerone. Apparently, I'm the only one, which is awesome because that's what I was aiming for, is that if you type in Armchair, whatever, it's going to hopefully get a lot of people funneled into it to explore. But Armchair Cicerone in the YouTubes, and that you'll be able to find me.
You started Instagram yet?
Instagram, I'm just going to stick with Beans Baxter. It's at
Beans
Baxter. I post a lot of beer stuff on there, life stuff, my cat. And if you want to check out my pottery and my fermentation stuff that I do, it's at Benjamin AV Creative. There's a link to that in my Instagram account. But that's, I do a lot of kimchi, a lot of fermentation stuff. And pottery, which is getting weirder and weirder by the day. So I hope this goes well and the hate stops.
Nah, it'll be fun. People love you even more. You make this video, they'll be like, okay, that's what I like to see. Someone that doesn't take themselves seriously, but gives a shit. That's a fine balance to kind of do, and it's what we're. So yeah, man, fucking awesome. Way to do. I loved their moment in the sun where everybody hated both of us equally for a day.
Crap, my friends started like, cause I pretended to like, oh guys, look what happened. Someone responded, and he responded, and not in a good way. And they're like, what the fuck? He's such an asshole. I'm like, please. Don't do or say stupid shit that I know that they're going to say, but they didn't end up. I think they commented on just being stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's great seeing you, even though you're like this big on the screen right now.
Yeah, you're like this big on my screen, so I can see you because I gotta. Yeah, I'm not on a phone. Oh, we can't see that anyway.
Oh, yeah, true.
So there you go. So go check go check Ben out on his channel, Armchair Cicerone. Type it in the old up there. You can find it. For people on his channel, if you want to check me out, just type in beer review on YouTube, and I'll probably be the first thing to pop up. So there you go. There's a little pretentiousness to fucking end it. But yeah, awesome. Dude.
I'll probably take a screenshot of something or whatever, and then I'll tag you in it on Instagram so people can go follow that too. Yeah, because you have a lot of great content. You know, look at the beer wall behind you. I almost want to get my plan was to go out and get a golden Corulus today.
Yeah,
and chug it tonight. That was the plan, was to do that. Oh man!
Oh, look at that! I got some awesome. I went on a beer run yesterday. I got all these weird fucking beers. Now I'm excited for Christmas. I'm off till January 6th from work, so I have like 2.5 weeks of nothingness ahead of me. It's gonna be awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. So awesome, dude. Well, I'm gonna go hang with my wife. Everybody, go check out Ben doing what he's doing, and we'll see you guys later. Cheers.
Yeah, check out Matt. Wait, that
awesome.
I'll see you later, man.
See ya.